A year ago, if someone had told me that my family would fall apart like this, I would have laughed in their face. I always believed that no matter how bad things got, family was family. You fight, you argue, but in the end, you always find your way back to each other. But not this time. Not after what Caleb did. Growing up, my older brother Caleb was the golden child, the one who could do no wrong, the one who made our mother Linda proud. My younger brother Logan and I, we were just the spares. That's what I used to joke, but it doesn't feel funny anymore. Because when Caleb stole Logan's fiancée, our family shattered beyond repair. I still remember the day Logan showed up at my apartment, broken beyond recognition. His wedding had been set, flowers picked, guests invited, everything in place. Then suddenly Avery, his fiancée, called it off. No reason, no warning. At first I thought she had cold feet. Weddings are stressful. Maybe she just needed time. Then, 3 days later, I saw something I'll never forget. Caleb walked into our family BBQ, holding Avery's hand, like it was the most natural thing in the world. And that was when I realized this wasn't just betrayal. It was planned. The backyard went silent. The kind of silence that makes your skin crawl. It felt like the world had stopped, holding its breath. Riley, my sister, was pouring lemonade when she saw them. Her hand froze, and the glass slipped from her grip, shattering, on the patio. I turned to my mother, expecting outrage, shock, something, but there was nothing, just a blank expression, like she had been expecting this. "You're kidding," I said, my voice shaking. "This is some kind of joke, right?" Caleb just shrugged. "Avery and I are together now. It just happened." Just happened. I felt sick. I looked at Avery, hoping for an explanation, but she just stared at the ground, her face burning with guilt. "What about Logan?" I snapped. "You were supposed to be his best man, Caleb. He trusted you." Caleb sighed, like I was being dramatic. "The relationship between her and Logan didn't work out. It's better this way." "Better for who?" I stormed, off before I could say something I'd regret. Riley followed me into the kitchen, slamming the door behind her. "Did you see Mom?" she whispered, her voice trembling. "She didn't even react. She's fine with this." And that was when I realized Linda had known. She had known, and she had done nothing. A few days later, Linda called me. "Mason, we need to talk," she said in that eerily calm voice of hers. "About what?" I snapped. "This weekend we're having dinner at the house. You and Riley should come. It's time to move past this." Move past this? Logan had been betrayed in the worst possible way, and she wanted us to just move past it. I went. But not for Linda. Not for Caleb. I went for Logan. When Riley and I arrived, she muttered, "This is going to be a disaster." She was right. Caleb and Avery were already seated at the dinner table side by side, like nothing was wrong. Linda stood at the head of the table, smiling as if she could fix this with a home-cooked meal. "Where's Logan?" I asked, my voice sharp. Linda's smile faltered. "He decided not to come," Riley scoffed. "Gee, I wonder why." I turned to Caleb, my anger boiling over. "So, you're just okay with this? Stealing your own brother's fiancée?" Caleb gave me that smug, calm-down look I had hated since childhood. "It wasn't planned, Mason. Things just happened." "You don't just happen to date your brother's fiancée," Riley snapped. Avery flinched, finally finding her voice. "It wasn't supposed to happen like this," she whispered. "Then why did it?" I asked, my rage barely contained. She hesitated, looking at Caleb as if seeking permission to speak. He said nothing. Finally, she sighed. "Caleb told me things about Logan. Made me doubt everything. He said Logan didn't really love me. That he was just going through the motions because he felt like he had to settle down." The room spun. Caleb had been planting doubts in her mind for months. This wasn't an accident. This was sabotage. Riley and I drove straight to Logan's apartment. He looked awful, thin, dark circles under his eyes. His place was a mess. Caleb got in Avery's head, I told him. He made her believe you didn't love her. Logan clenched his fists, his jaw tight. He's done this before, he muttered. Riley and I exchanged a look. What do you mean? Logan's voice was bitter. Do you remember my high school soccer tryout? You didn't make the team, I said. No, Logan said with a humorless laugh. I did. Caleb convinced the coach I was unreliable. I got cut. He made varsity. The realization hit me like a punch to the gut. This wasn't just about Avery. This was a pattern. Caleb isn't done. Logan said darkly. He's not going to stop until Mom forces us to forgive him. Riley crossed her arms. Then we have to stop him first. The next morning, we stormed into Linda's house. We need to talk to Caleb, I said. Linda sighed. Mason, please. Not this again. No, Mom, Riley interrupted. We're not letting this go. We found Caleb upstairs, lounging like he hadn't. Just ruined our family. So, I said, arms crossed. Was it worth it? Manipulating Avery, wrecking Logan's life? Caleb rolled his eyes. Logan was never right for her. You don't get to decide that, Riley shouted. Linda appeared in the doorway, her face pale. Caleb, she said hesitantly, is this true? He put on his innocent act. Mom, they're twisting my words. I expected Linda to finally see the truth, but she hesitated. And then, as always, she sided with Caleb. I'm sure there's been a misunderstanding, she murmured. Riley's face hardened. You keep protecting him, Mom, but we're done. Caleb smirked. You can't just cut me out of the family. Watch us, Riley said coldly. After hanging up on Caleb, I sat in silence for a long time, letting everything sink in. For years, I had watched him get away with everything, lies, manipulation, betrayal, because our mother always cleaned up after him. But not this time. This time, he had dug himself a hole too deep for even Linda to pull him out of, and I wasn't going to be the one to save him. A few days later, Linda sent another message. Mason, please, we need to talk. Family doesn't turn its back on each other. I stared at the words, my chest tight with anger. Family? Was this what family was supposed to be? I used to believe that no matter how bad things got, we had to hold on to each other. That blood was everything. But standing by and pretending nothing was wrong, letting Caleb keep hurting people, that wasn't family. That was enabling. I sent a simple response. Family protects each other, Mom. You protected Caleb. You never protected us. And for the first time in my life, I blocked her number. That night, Logan, Riley, and I met at my apartment. No heavy conversations. No more talking about Caleb. Just the three of us, sitting together, eating takeout, laughing at stupid jokes like we used to when we were kids. We had lost something, yes, but maybe, just maybe, we had gained something even better. A real family. One that chose each other, not out of obligation, but out of love. Logan raised his drink and smirked. To being free from toxic people. Riley grinned, clinking her glass against his. And to never letting anyone, especially Caleb, control our lives again. I smiled, finally at peace. We'll be okay, I said. For the first time, I actually believed that, and I really, truly did. Thank you for watching. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit the notification bell to stay updated with more shocking real-life stories happening around you.